Hello and welcome to another Imperator Rome video. Now, this is technically a dev diary, but at the same time I'm not going to title this video as a dev diary because it's kind of a meta diary, if that makes sense. It's talking about the way that dev diaries is going to be in the future. There's a little tease at the end that we're going to go into. But anyway, let's just get into this. Greetings all. Actually, let's see. First of all, he's got the date correct. Good job. Okay, that's that out of the way. We're all good. It's going to be a good post. Greetings all. It's been a while since our last dev diary video. It's been a while since my dev diary video. It's been a while since his last dev diary, though. Due to a combination of public holidays and schedule, but we're back again, and I have a few changes to mention regarding the way you'll be getting information from us in the future. Firstly, though, I'd like to thank you all for the great feedback on 1.4 Archimedes. I particularly enjoyed seeing the various stories and playthroughs that you've all been posting here and on our other social media platforms. As I mentioned back at the beginning of the year, Imperator has been aiming at a faster frequency of smaller releases compared to some of our other studio titles. One thing that has been becoming apparent here is that our old method of dev diaries on a weekly basis does not mesh well with this. Going forwards, we'll likely have a couple of weeks of downtime after a major release such as Archimedes before we launch into a more packed schedule of information-filled diaries. I'd say that while, yes, a couple of weeks of downtime for dev diaries is sort of, that's normal for all of the games, I would say. I mean, the 2 weeks after a big update is usually spent on, the diaries are more like, these are the hot fixes and here's the changes that have come since the release to the release. So I don't think I remember a single time that Paradox has released a DLC or a big update and there's not been a hotfix fairly shortly afterwards. The only thing I can actually think of in that regard is the Stellaris update where they broke things and then went on Christmas holiday, which was not great. But other than that, yeah, I would say that, does that still count as downtime? Like, if the next two diaries after it are just about hotfixes? I would say no, but I guess maybe in this context, maybe yes. I don't know. Anyway, this achieves two things. It allows us to breathe and plan the workflow for our next release without having to make any snap decisions at early dates, and it ensures that there's enough to talk about in dev diaries leading up to our release. There was a reasonable criticisms that some of the dev diaries from the last release cycle didn't contain enough substance. I would say that, yeah, those are pretty reasonable complaints. Some of them were pretty stupid complaints, but that's the nature of complaints, isn't it? I think part of this is that it's hard to be very focused featured breakdowns in the context of the whole, so we'll be aiming to look at features as they relate to the game and other parts of a release going forwards. Thus, since we've had another couple of weeks of downtime, we'll start off our development diary cycle next week with a comprehensive overview of the subjects that will be covered in Menander, followed by a weekly in-depth diary on each one of those. Alright, so looking forward to next week's diary, talking about what we're going to be expecting. It is a culture update. It is the spring of culture, or is this the spring? Are we in spring? Is this spring yet? It's autumn of war. Yeah, I think actually it's going to be the summer of culture. God, it feels strange to say it's going to be the summer of culture when there's literally still snow outside my window. But anyway. Yeah, so we're getting the culture update with Menander, and we'll see how the culture system is overhauled and changed. With all that said, this week I've had a couple of teasers from 1.5 for you. Let me know what you think they might mean, and I'll reveal all next Monday as we dive into a full feature overview in the Menander update. So, first little picture we've got here, it is a really, really little picture. Phrygia, Cappadocia, Commagene, and Bambice. And the colours of Cappadocia, Commagene, and Bambice are very similar, if not identical. And I believe they're also changed. We can check this. We've got the ability. So let's just open up a new game a second so we can see what the colours of these countries are. right now, as the game is in 1.4.2, I believe, I'm currently running. So yes, definitely those colors have changed from this kind of color, this color, and the purpley color. Actually, what color would you call this? It's like tan mixed with gray. But yeah, those colors are absolutely different. And I would imagine, probably because they are vassals of Phrygia, maybe the colors have changed to be a sort of lighter Phrygian color. That would make sense to me. And then we also have this. This is the manpower symbol, and I think if these guys are related, then this could be the amount of manpower you get from the nation. 10% being 4, so maybe we can check on these 3 countries, are any of them giving 40 manpower? That is quite little, so it's probably going to be either Commagene or Bambice, if it is right. We're going to have to actually start the game. Alright. So, you gain 28 a month, Bambice gains 23, you gain 76. So 10% of any of these is not 4. So that's not that. Maybe it's a different Phrygian vassal though. Let's have a look. No, it wouldn't be a tributary, it'd be a feudatory. Cappadocia is a satrapy, gives money. Kizuka's giving 3 manpower, 3 manpower. 5, 3, 5, 5. Is there anyone going to give 4? 6 there. Did I miss one? No. I didn't miss one, but none of them are giving 4, so, you know, that's expected to change, like these kind of little numbers, but the interesting part is the button beneath it. So, I imagine this is going to be a scale of how much manpower am I going to demand from my feudatories. At the moment, you're only demanding 10%. You might be able to increase this to 15 or 20, 25, something like that, to just get more manpower at a cost of lower relations, lower loyalty, that kind of thing. So that would make the Diadochi quite powerful. Well, specifically it would make Phrygia more powerful. They've got the most subjects. Seleucus has a few, but nowhere near as many as Phrygia, so definitely that is a big boost to them. And it would make sense for them to have quite a lot of power from their vassals. That's sort of how they did it anyway. Speaking of that, I do have an idea for a rework on this kind of system that I'm going to be making a video on relatively soon. So keep an eye out for that one. But yeah, I think that's what this is. Just being able to dictate how much exactly your vassals are giving you. If you got a very, very loyal vassal, maybe you want to say, oh, I actually just want your manpower and I want more of it because I don't care about your loyalty. It's high enough already. Something like that. I could see that working-ish. But yeah, I would love to know if you think that I'm wrong on this and what you believe it would be instead. So pop your thoughts in the comment section below. I will, of course, be reading every comment, though I will say that I do not get time nowadays to respond to every single comment. It's just, there's quite a lot of them nowadays. My channel's been doing relatively well the past few months, and there's just a lot of comments now. So I can either read all of them and respond to very few, or read like 10% of them and then respond to them. That's the time dilemma I'm currently in. But anyway, leave me your comments in the comment section below. If you want to keep up to date with all Imperator Rome news and updates and all that kind of good stuff, then subscribe is the buttons around there somewhere. Like the video if you liked it, and I will see you next week for a full feature overview of the Menander update. Stay safe, wash your hands, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.